Today we're at the Goodwill on Camelback and 17th Avenue. It's one of my favorite places to go shopping, and we're gonna go inside and check out what they've got today and see if we can find some items that might be great for the creativity category and also the design category. So I'll be sharing some different tips and different ideas with you of what I'm seeing here to help you for your shopping. Let's go inside and check it out. So anytime that you come to Goodwill, I always beeline it to the back because I love to find the furniture and decor area, because usually for Goodwill Flip, that's where you want to be, right? So anytime you're at Goodwill, it's always hard to say what you're going to find because it can be hit or miss. Some stores have a great stock, some stores don't. Sale Saturdays, always some of my favorites. But one of the first things I try to do is really, when I get to the back of the store, I try to really survey it, right? And see if there's anything that jumps out at me. This store thankfully has a pretty good stock today, so there's a lot of different options. At first glance though, something like this, right? What is this? This is $24.49, and it kind of seems like a giant vase. But for the creativity category of this year's Goodwill Flip contest, what could this be made into? I feel like this could become a lot of different things. I personally would love to see this maybe become a lamp. So there's an opportunity here to fill this with something kind of visually interesting and then actually wire the top part to have a shade. So this altogether could start as a vase, become a lamp, and it could be a really great option for your creative category of the Goodwill Flip. In terms of the decor category, like this is actually kind of a cool chair, right? So the whole bohemian style is kind of cool right now. I like the wicker details. Like this front detail is really interesting. I don't like the fabric. I also don't like the back cushion because I think the back of the chair is really interesting. So I would get rid of that back cushion and actually just reupholster this seat with a different fabric that's a lot more subtle. And then if you were to put this in a living room, Arizona room, back porch, suddenly this looks like a cool kind of bohemian style chair that could really go awesome with decor and be a simple transformation, but something that would look a lot more expensive and something that you might even think that you would be finding in a higher end design store. That's probably not the best example for the design category because it's a little simple, right? Changing a cushion, not a huge transformation. Something like these bar stools though, on the other hand, could be a really good one. So these are pretty basic bar stools, $6.79 each, so pretty affordable. And something like this could be transformed. Paint goes a long way. There's also a lot of different elements here. So when I'm shopping, I try to look at how things could be changed. So you've got the legs here, you have the connecting pieces. And so to be able to come in, maybe sand the top, stain it, paint these in a different color. So maybe doing black horizontal pieces, white vertical pieces could really create an interesting element that could look great in your home. And this is one of the other items that really caught my eye. So it's a metal base with a glass tabletop, and something like this is fantastic here in Arizona because not only could you use this indoors, but it would also be great outdoors as well. Something like this, already a beautiful piece. Frankly, you don't really have to do too much to it at all, but if it doesn't really quite fit your style, a can of matte black spray paint would go a long way to really help transform this piece and make it a lot more unifying for most people's home decor. Now, I don't know that this is a winner for the Goodwill Flip contest, but it's another thing that I'm just looking for as I'm going through the store. So I found a couple cool items at this store. There's a lot of different things that have so much possibilities, but we're actually gonna go to another store right now over at 16th Street at Indian School, my all-time favorite store, to check out what they have there. So now we're at the Goodwill at 16th Street Indian School, which is my all-time favorite Goodwill store to shop at. So if you follow me on Instagram at The House Judge, this is the store that you constantly see me shopping at. So anytime I walk into the store, I look straight to the back towards the furniture and home decor sections, which for Goodwill Flip is a great place to get started. So we're gonna walk through the store, kind of check it out, see if there's anything I see that would be a great fit for the creative category or the design category. Because of course this year there's two categories, $300 price for each, so we wanna make sure we can find everything that we need here in one of these Goodwills. All right, so again, sometimes in Goodwill stores, you find things that are amazing, and other times, it's a little bit harder. So as we're kind of walking through the store, like this looks like somebody's attempt at a Goodwill creative thing because it totally was a coffee table. They did a weaved belt to it. just an interesting example, something totally unique to find. For $17, like this chair has really unique lines. I love the detailing back here with the arms. It's a really great side chair. The upholstery on it is not ideal, so I think to reupholster the cushion would go a really long way and probably refinish the chair. This would look a lot more modern if it was black. So I think that this could be a really nice thing to actually refinish the chair black and then reupholster the cushion. Starting point, $17. You could make some really minimal changes to it, and this would be an awesome piece for the design category. I like this one. I love when you can find a pair, and they are $8.79 each. One's missing a pillow, of course. I'm not a fan of this upholstery, especially because you have a stain here, but anytime that you've got a pair, I feel like it's a winning find, because if you can work on doing the reupholstery of these and then also doing something to the wood, these would look super high-end, and the starting point's only $8. No doubt they also need a lot of love. One of my favorite creative category items last year was someone actually took a small dresser and converted it into a mini kitchenette for their children. And by the time that this cabinet was redesigned, it looked totally like a mini kitchenette that you would buy in the store. So, you know, you're not gonna find everything at each Goodwill, so it's really great to go to all different Goodwills to go shopping and really look for different items in the creative category and the design category. But we are gonna be wrapping things up here at this Goodwill and going to one more store today to see what else we can find. So we are gonna head there now. Now we are at the third store for the day. We are at the 32nd Street and Thomas location, another one of my personal favorites. And we are checking out what they have here and giving you different ideas for the Goodwill Flip competition. So one of the things I think that's really important to remember is that, you know, even when you're looking at a Goodwill store, there might be nothing that totally jumps out at you. But sometimes it's a matter of finding fabrics. Last year, one of my favorite submissions was actually a chair that was reupholstered in blue jeans. So think about this. So if you're reupholstering something, can you actually find the fabric here in a Goodwill store and use it for one of the Goodwill Flip items? Something to think about. You know, I see these belts hanging here too. Last year, you might remember one of the items I did was actually a chair that I wrapped leather around to create a back seating for it. But belts could work the exact same way. So actually to take this belt, wrap it behind a chair and kind of create a back setting for it would be awesome. Or hanging a headboard. You know, you can actually mount a headboard to a wall with some belt fabrics. So going through a Goodwill, looking at fabrics, looking at different items, repurposing blue jeans, repurposing belts, so many different things that you can actually do for the Goodwill Flip contest and actually utilize these items. So let's walk through some of the aisles and kind of see some of the smaller elements that they have. They have so many different things. Okay, like this is interesting, right? There are at least 20 of these. I imagine that these water bottles could be converted into something very creative, where if you were to buy a bunch of them and actually wire them together, perhaps you could make a chandelier with a light in the middle and have all of these kind of orbiting around it. I'm talking crazy, I know, water bottles to a chandelier, but it's Goodwill Flip, so anything's possible. So, I dig that idea actually. That's actually kind of cool. So someone totally come and do this. It's a winning tip right there. Hint, hint, I am the judge. So coming through here, let's see what else we've got. I always love these goodie bags at Goodwill because they are so affordable and they've got so many little treasures in there. So as you're going through the stores, definitely think about that too. It's like the blue jeans and the belts. Are there other objects and things that you could actually take and source from Goodwill and use within your transformation? Now remember, when you're doing these submissions, make sure you tell us that. Make sure that you tell us that the chair is from Goodwill and so are the blue jeans, for example. Looking at vases, you know, vases are always tough for me, but this vase, kind of like what we were talking about at the first Goodwill, this could become an awesome lamp. You know, it would take drilling it at the bottom, and I feel like this could become an amazing lamp. Especially with this design, you'd have to do nothing on the exterior, and being that it's already hollow, it's a great solution. You know, when coming to Goodwill, there are constantly stacks and stacks of speakers because today our speakers have gotten so little itty bitty that you really don't see them. So what could people be doing with these to transform them into something awesome? This would be a really another cool thing to see for the creative category of the Goodwill Flip contest. I feel like a table is possible. Maybe editing the insides of it, adding some legs. It could be cool. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow Goodwill AZ and the house judge, me, on Instagram and Facebook to get more ideas and tips for the upcoming Goodwill Flip. And have a great day. We're going this way now. I'm gonna go work on my own Goodwill Flip submissions.